2-13-11 Sports Blog. It's been a long time, a lot of news. Now to start off with MLB, Vladimir Guerrero heads to Baltimore. He signs a one-year deal. I really don't know the terms or the details of that deal. But in more MLB news, Michael Young is on the move. Michael Young is on the trade market in MLB for the Texas Rangers because he's displayed an interest of being traded, but we don't know who to yet. And one thing I forgot to mention, Andy Pettitte is retiring after 16 seasons. And this is a big blow for the Yankees because their rotation is up in the air. Phil Hughes, CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett. That's the only three starters confirmed. And basically the rotation is going to be CC Sabathia, then Phil Hughes, then AJ Burnett. So we're going to have to see about that in the later months of the season because Mark Pryor, Freddie Garcia, other players that the Yankees provided to spring training are going to try to see or fight for that position in the starting rotation. But now on to NBA news. Karl Malone backs up Jerry Sloan because Jerry Sloan resigned earlier this week. Jerry Sloan resigned. He was a long-term coach for the Jazz. He even coached Karl Malone. But Karl Malone backs him up by saying something like he didn't just resign. There was some issues going on with the players and the coaches, or between the players and the coaches. Deron Williams and Jerry Sloan had a confrontation on one of the games, and that probably made Jerry Sloan resign. In other NBA news, Ray Allen passes Reggie Miller for the all-time three-point field goals list. 2,562 three-point field goals. So congratulations to Ray Allen on his accomplishment. The Cavaliers finally won. They finally ended a 26-game losing streak. And they beat the Clippers. And a lot of people are happy. I really didn't want to see them lose again because it would have been kind of sad to see them lose 27 straight. They already broke their record from, I think in the 90s or the 80s, which is sad. Amari was out for yesterday against the Nets, which you're going to see in part 4 of this series of this 2-13-11 sports blog. So Amari was out with a sprained right big toe. And here are the games from 2-12-11. But first, some highlights from NBA.com of those games.
Saturday, Daily Zap on NBA.com. 10-game schedule. We recap starting now. Hawks and Bobcats at the Highlight Factory, and that, sure enough, was a highlight. Jay Smoot with 28 in the game, but Captain Jack, the hero, beats the buzzer for the win. Bobcats rally from 22 down to earn their first win 500 for the first time in 2 months, playing without Amari Stoudemire in that one. Bulls and Hornets in the Big Easy. All-star guards matching up. Derrick Rose and Chris Paul. D-Rose with 23 points and 6 assists in the ball game. Bulls hand the Hornets their 7th loss in 9 games. Spurs and Wizards in the nation's capital. This one was over as soon as it started. I believe the Spurs led by as many as 40 in this one. The final score, pretty ugly. San Antonio improves to 44-9 on the year. Sixers, Timberwolves in Minnesota. Sixers playing some ball here lately. They end a 4-game skid in Minnesota. Despite Kevin Love's 40th straight double-double, Sixers have won 7 of 9 under Doug Collins. Mavs and Rockets in Houston. Kyle Lowry, effective for his ball club. Dallas looking to get back on track after seeing their 10-game win streak come to an end, and they would bounce back. It was close, though. 106-102 the final. Dirk Nowitzki, 22 points, 6 rebounds in the win. Pacers and Bucks in Milwaukee. The Bucks had won 6 in a row in the series prior to tonight. The Pacers, though, will get the win in this one. For the 7th time in 8 games, they've come out the victor. Congrats to Frank Vogel and company. The nightcap, Thunder and Kings. KD going off. 35 on the night for him. OKC able to hold off a late charge by the Kings to hand Sacktown their 5th consecutive loss. That's your Daily Zap.
Great games, especially the one from ones from, I think, the Bulls and the Mavs. I think both of them played. Shout out to my man C-Free, because that's his team, the Bulls, and D-Rose all day for the Bulls, and Dirk Nowitzki, the mid-post magician, for the Mavericks. Speaking of the Mavericks, now I'm going to talk about the Mavs and Knicks game, but first, some highlights from NBA.com.
Lamar Stoudemire and the Knicks hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Stoudemire is going to coach his teammate Landry Fields at the rookie-sophomore game.
Ooh, Jason Kidd.
Old but tasty, baby.
Still delivering on time.
Yes.
Dallas on a 15-2 run early on. Danilo Gallinari, a little crossover and goes to the rim.
I'm impressed. We thought he was just a three-point shooter. He can still dunk on people.
Knicks come back with a 20-3 run. Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, we know he can do that.
Oh, my goodness.
He's done that before.
Yes.
Second quarter, J.J. Barea.
What a bright spot he's been as of late, coming off the bench. Started some when guys have gone down. Big-time energy.
And Dallas goes on a 10-0 run. Back and forth we go. Stoudemire gets it going. First from Gallinari, then Felton. And then the fadeaway.
Little fade.
Kind of a fade.
Little lean. Let's call it a lean away.
All right. He had 21 at the half. Deshaun Stevenson, three-pointer there. Dallas up by 2. They led it by 4 at the break. Stoudemire, trouble in the second. Scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, not able to get it going, and credit some of that to Dallas's defense. Remember, they've now, I think, finally made the adjustment, not having Caron Butler, figured out where they're going to get that third offensive option. And how about Tyson Chandler with the finish?
How about Deshaun Stevenson knocking down the 3? It's another run, this one 26-6.
Each game a
It's
different
gonna be
guy.
okay. We're going to get it back. Oh, she must have saw Bieber. She must have called Bieber fever.
He's going to play in the celebrity game, I guess.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Okay.
I'll be watching.
Somebody were to post him up and mess up that.
Well, you know, a lot of celebrities are short.
That's true.
Yeah.
So he gonna fit right in. They might play him at power forward.
Meanwhile, back to the game. It's Nowitzki with. You gonna call that a fadeaway? You okay with that?
That was more.
They're up by 15. Jason Kidd to Jason Terry for the reverse. Kidd had 10 assists. Easy night for the Mavericks on the road. They win at 113-97. That's now 6 straight. And every night we look at the box since Dirk Nowitzki has come back, and he's taken just a couple more shots. Pretty efficient himself, 29 points on 6.
Now, the video doesn't mention that Tyson Chandler had 15 points, 11 rebounds. It also doesn't mention that Deshaun Stevenson had 13 points. J.J. Barea added 22 points, and the Jet, Jason Terry, added 12 points. For the Knicks, Amari Stoudemire had 21 points. Tony Douglas had 22 points, and that's basically it. Keys for the game for the Mavs first, then the Knicks. The Mavericks on the glass. They had a big height advantage with Dirk Nowitzki, and of course he gets rebounds, especially Tyson Chandler and Brandon Hayward. So those people were getting rebounds over people like Amari Stoudemire and Timothy Mozgov, and Ronny Turiaf wasn't even playing. They shot 44% from deep, the Mavericks. J.J. Barea really led this with his 22 points, and looks like the Knicks couldn't really extend the defense to the perimeter. For the Knicks, they couldn't get rebounds. Again, like I said, over people like Dirk Nowitzki, Tyson Chandler, and Brandon Hayward. They couldn't get rebounds over people. And poor defense. They couldn't extend the defense to the perimeter. J.J. Barea burned them. Jason Terry burned them. And, of course, Dirk Nowitzki was going to burn them anyway, but they kind of contained him a little, even though he had 29 points. And also, for the Mavericks, a bad key for them was the game of Shawn Marion. Shawn Marion wasn't really doing that well. He took 2 hook shots and they went straight into Maverick players. And they're supposed to go on the basket. But I'm not even going to get into that. So this ends part 1 of the sports blog. So on to part 2.